Alright, hello guys and welcome back to this weekly update. As usual, please remember that this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion, is my personal view on the markets, and please do make your own research before you take any trades. Alright, let's go. So what do we have here? Here we're starting with Bitcoin. I know guys you've been waiting for a Bitcoin update, especially what happened during the weekend and what happened yesterday. So here we have very important moves to see. For instance, so we come from this huge rally, then we made a bit of a lateralization here, and during the weekend we went up, we broke this trend line, but on the next day, so yesterday on Monday, we broke to the downside. However, look at this wick, it was bought, heavily bought the candle, but right now we are going back. Look at this wick again, so it signals that bears are in control at the moment. We are returning under the trend line, so we are going down. So it looks like we can make a move to the downside and reconfirm this area. So probably reconfirm these lows and from here bounce back, or probably reconfirm these lows and from here come here and reconfirm this support line. So we'll see, we have to see. At the moment it's looking that we are going down a little bit and see what happens around this area. There's a lot of liquidity, as you can see here. There's lots of trap liquidity here. People that were opening longs, they of course they put their stop losses here, around here, under these wicks, and then this is common for the market to come and hunt this liquidity that is here. Besides that, look at this value gap, this fair value gap, huge fair value gap that we have here. So this is, remember, this is a daily time chart, daily chart, sorry. And look at this. This is a huge fair value gap that has a lot of liquidity here, because this day we went up really quick, and then a lot of liquidity was left here, was trapped here, that no transactions happen in this area. So normally the market comes and check these transactions and get the money that is missing here. So then it is likely that we come partially fill this gap or totally fill it, we don't know, but it is likely that at the moment we will confirm these lows. Right, so let's go quickly to let's continue with the crypto space. Ethereum, we can see that Ethereum didn't manage to break this trend line, so the same, then we went up during the weekend, came down, left all this liquidity, and at the moment, well, it was trying again to go up, but it depends. If Bitcoin continues down, then Ethereum will also come down and get this liquidity here. So I think it's the same story for most of crypto. Look at Solana. Solana broke this trend line. This is an old trend line. They broke to the downside, this trend line. So it looks like Solana is also wanting to come down to get this liquidity at least, or even touch this other level to get this other liquidity that is here. Right, so let's talk about the macro economy, the other markets. So let's see what's going on, because something interesting is going on with the markets right now. For instance, let's see the DXY, the DXY. The DXY, although it tried to go up here, now we didn't break this trend line. So started as soon as we touched this trend line, then we started to come down, and now we are reconfirming this support line. Let's see what happens here. Let's pay attention here, guys. Let's keep an eye on this. Let's see if here we bounce and break to the upside, or if we just have a small bounce here, probably something like this, small bounce, and then we break to the downside. So remember that we had special developments during the weekend, because the credit rate, a special agency, Moody's, downgraded the rates for the American debt. So it means that that moves the market, that gives a little bit of less confidence on the American markets. And then we see we have here the American yields. So the one that caught attention and spiked was the five-year yield, that at the moment, well, is as you can see here, is been rising and then is staying here around this level. You can see here that we have here an area where this where the yield is staying. So we are staying currently into this area. So this means that it is putting a lot of pressure on the American bonds, because the interest rates are quite high, are about 4%. And then if this continues to be high, then it means America will have more difficulties to pay it back its debt, because it has to pay more interest on this debt. So something very interesting is happening here. I don't want to be to extend too much this video. I don't want to make it too long. But basically what's going on is we have a fight between the yields that so that since this is quite high, when normally when the interest rate is high, it means that we have potentially a downturn in the economy. Potentially we have a slowdown in the economy, because it makes everything more expensive. So it makes more expensive to borrow money, for instance, for long-term debt, for instance, or for long-term credits. It is more difficult for the public to pay it, because it is more expensive. So because they have to pay more interest rates. So also for companies to finance in the long term, it is more expensive for companies to finance in the long term. So that's why it slows down the economy. So this is anti-inflationary measures, and this is to slow down the economy. But on the other hand, we have the money supply that the Federal Reserve is putting into the market. Together also other countries, but let's talk only about America. So the money supply at the moment is increasing. So if you can see it here, the M2 money supply, which is one, let's see if this is, yeah, probably it's this one. So you can see here that it is rising again. So this was coming down a little bit and then started to go up again. So meaning that the Federal Reserve is injecting money into the economy, and this is inflationary. So on one hand, we have the high yields that are anti-inflationary against this money supply that is bringing liquidity into the markets, which is inflationary. So we are seeing here what the Federal Reserve is doing, is trying to do what they said before, is trying to achieve this soft landing. So by maneuvering, by stimulating the economy with the money supply, but at the same time restricting the economy with the high interest rates. But also high interest rates also don't only depend on that. What they can manage is the monetary policy, but this it also has to do with other governments, if there is supply or demand in the for these bonds around the world. So, and since we can see that there is an excess in supply, that's why that the interest rates are going up. So to make it more attractive to get these bonds. Anyway, so that is what I can see here at the moment, that they are trying to fine-tune this by managing these two things. So, and this is well, if on one hand we are going up and on the other hand we are going down, what do we expect? Well, we expect the markets to be lateral, neither up, neither down. So what we can expect now from the markets is to be a bit lateral. So we will probably see a period of consolidation, and then we can see what if which one prevails. So if we are going to have more money supply or more restrictive policy. And then we will see if the markets go up or down. So let's go quickly here. For instance, we have the US 30. So we are also respecting this trend line. We are coming down, probably coming down to reconfirm this this support level, and from here see if we bounce back or if we break to the downside. So we don't have to go, as I said, it's likely to be that we are going to be lateral for some time here. We can do things like this for the rest of the year. Nobody knows, but we have to pay attention. How do we draw the structure from now on? Now that we are above this key level, let's see how do we draw a structure from here. The US 500, very similar. We passed this important key level. Look at here, for instance, here this was resistance, then this was support, then this was resistance. Now we broke to the upside. Now we are probably going to confirm this level. The US 2000, well, the US 2000 is also confirming this other level, so we didn't break this peak, this peak that we have here. I'm probably coming to look at, here are some important gaps that we have here, so probably come to fill these gaps and see from here if we continue down, or from here we continue up. So that we will see. Now we will have to go step by step, because it is also another reality that there are now a lot of because of the geopolitics, a lot of news are being generated frequently. So people are saying that now we have to go headline after headline. So we have to analyze, check the markets, and trade headline after headline. So that's why it is very likely a scenario in which we are lateral. So the US tech, the same. We see that we don't break this trend line at the moment, so we are rejecting this trend line, probably coming down to grab this liquidity, or probably even here to fill in these gaps and confirm this key level. So we don't know, but it is looking likely at the moment, because on top of that, remember that, well, now this rally looks a little bit overextended, so we can even draw a Fibonacci from here, from the lows to the highs, and see where it is more likely. So we have a level here, and then if we really go down, we have another this support level to touch. Probably we can come down. If things don't look very well, we might even come to this level. So we have to see. I mean, it doesn't look likely that we come to this level, which is the 0.618, but it can be. Nobody knows. It can even be this possible. So just pay attention to how developments go, and just don't overreact to things. All right, let's see quickly what's going on with gold. Well, as we said, that the Dixie was going down, respecting this trend line. Well, the opposite is for gold. Gold is going up, respecting this other trend line. So we have to see what happens here. If the Dixie decides to go up, then the gold will come down to touch this trend line. At the moment, we are just playing around this support level. We will see what does the dollar do, and then we might come to touch this support line again and go up, or we might even break this trend line to the downside. So what is going on with the oil? Well, oil had an impulse here, didn't pass this level. So if we break this level, then we will change character. We will change to an upward, or to a bullish momentum, a bullish structure. But at the moment we didn't pass that level, so it means we are staying here, trying to break it, but it is not, hasn't been possible at the moment. Well, I just to finish quickly, sorry guys for the extended video, but I think it was important to talk about the macro economy. Let's check quickly what's going on with the stocks. So for instance, here we have some important stocks that we see that some of them broke their trend line, but for instance, Apple broke the trend line and now is coming back down this trend line to reconfirm this level, as we can see with the Nasdaq. So AMD, all the semiconductor companies, they did very well in the past weeks. For instance, look at AMD. It broke this trend line, broke this key level, went up, touched the next key level, and now starts to come down, probably to fill in these gaps that are here and reconfirm this level. So remember that Trump had a trip to the Gulf states, and then he closed some important deals for the semiconductor and for the AI industry, and this is what caused this rise on the previous week, on the previous days. But now we are seeing probably the reaction to this move. So the same happened with Amazon, SAML, another important semiconductor company, that we broke this trend line, and now we are going down. Coinbase, well, remember this is because it was listed on the SPX500. That's why it had this important rally. But look, we left this important gap here. It is likely that we come now down to reconfirm these levels. eBay is doing very well. eBay is marking a new all-time high, but it is likely to come down and reconfirm this level. Google also broke to the upside, but it is stuck at this key level. So let's see if it manages to go up. Here it tried, but it didn't pass this level. So today it's gonna probably try to break again. But let's see if it manages to go up or comes down. Intel is one of the most punished companies on this area, and then he's stuck in this area, hasn't managed to really break up this level. When it breaks up this level, then Intel is gonna be a good opportunity. Meta also had a good rally from the lows here. It had a good rally, and then, well, at the moment it left these important gaps, and it is likely that comes down to reconfirm these gaps. Microsoft is also having a fantastic time. Look at this, broke this level, put us into a bullish structure, but left this huge gap. So Microsoft is touching its all-time high, but it probably comes fast to reconfirm these levels, or even if things go really bad, even to fill in this gap. Netflix has been extended to the upside for a long time, so it's likely that also come down to reconfirm these levels, because remember that nothing goes up forever. So it is likely that they have to at some point come and reconfirm these moves. Nvidia was the key protagonist for these deals that I mentioned before. So Nvidia that had last week, we can see here the last 5 days had a big rally, and it is likely now that it broke this trend line. It is likely now that we come at least check some of these lower levels. Tesla also had an important rally because it was also part of this trip. But let's see now what happens with Tesla, if it continues its move up, or if we come to see these to touch and reconfirm these levels. So at the moment, as I said, it looks lateral. The market looks that it is going to be lateral, so we're going to have some companies going up, some companies going down. So it is important to check what's going on, and it is important to see the fundamentals of the companies, which companies are prepared for these kind of markets, which companies are not in debt, which companies have enough cash flow. So yeah, just pay attention to all these metrics. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Please let me know if you have any comments, or if you want me to check something specific. Yeah, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.